I'm at BETT 2026. I'm at the SCAN booth, and I'm joined by Lewis from the College of Esports. How are you doing, Lewis?
Yeah, not too bad. A little bit tired on the third day here, but we're kind of getting there now. And it's been great showcasing what we do at College of Esports with some of the student work. Also working with the Zen Labs guys to kind of showcase the graphics tablet on the stand as well.
Yeah, and when we were talking earlier, I realized you're using NVIDIA Studio, which is the same kind of driver set and software backend that I use at my work with Omniverse, with visual development and virtual production. That's what I use it for, but what do you use NVIDIA Studio for?
So we're using NVIDIA Studio tools to basically allow all the different aspects of games development. So whether that be designing 3D models in Blender, taking them out and putting them into Substance to make them look pretty. So this is one of my students' work, for example. So this was made by Emma Lou. She's designed that in Blender, taken it out, using NVIDIA in Substance. It's allowed her to design this kind of lovely, fantastical, cartoonish world. We can then take that out and we can put that into Unreal, which is also where we use it to do rendering and exporting of different projects, but we get to do that in the classroom because of the power of NVIDIA.
So that's 3 different software programs you talked about, right?
Yep.
So Blender is the open source, free for everyone app, built very differently to Adobe's suite, right?
Yep.
But Adobe's Substance Painter, I use it all the time for the same reason, because it's like Photoshop for 3D, right? You're
Yes.
painting directly onto a 3D model. But that needs a very different kind of driver sort of setup. It's demanding in a different way to just modeling in Blender.
Yeah.
And likewise, when you take it into Unreal Engine, you're in the real-time paradigm, the real-time rendering paradigm,
Yeah.
which is a different set of sort of demands on the system. And what you're describing there is this smooth ride between all 3.
Yeah.
That's why I choose Studio drivers. So how is that utilized, say, in this scene here?
So this is one of our Unreal projects that was done for a piece of work for semester 1 in this academic year. It's students creating a quick-fire kind of early beta alpha game to pitch an idea to business.
Okay.
The power of NVIDIA Studios has allowed them to go, well, not only are we going to make an actual playable demo, but we're going to include VFX assets, we're going to include the SCAN logos to showcase what we could do commercially with this project. And again, it's showcasing that real world skill set that they might be going into in the future, particularly if they're interested in the indie side of the games market, to go out to business and talk to them about expanding their portfolios and doing all that kind of stuff. So
this is an arena that they've built, so you can look around
so
this
we
whole
can
thing.
look around this, we can move around, we can actually go into the play and play as the characters they've got. So they've built all the assets here, they've plugged them all in, added basic texturing because it's obviously early alpha. So you get a feel for it. So if you were going to a business meeting, rather than just going, here's some images, they're actually now going, well, here's the controller to a CEO, jump in, see what we're talking about. And that is a massive difference. So again, they can showcase different brands. So we've got an Intel logo there, we've got 3XS systems, obviously SCAN, being on a SCAN stand, it makes sense. But all of those things allow this to happen, and NVIDIA powers that from the get-go. So obviously great piece of kit from SCAN, working with them in partnership, it's been fantastic.
What's the system this is running on?
So this is on one of our PCs from the university, so this is on a 5090. It's an Intel i9 14th gen, 32 gigs of RAM off the top of my head, about 8 terabytes worth of storage. And it just allows the students to facilitate whatever they want to do. So we have students who start out in kind of traditional art pipelines, and then they suddenly realize they want to go down the techie art VFX route. And again, NVIDIA allows us to do that and work with those students to power those things through.
So a 5090 card. Obviously you could use game-ready drivers, right? You could use the GeForce drivers on that if you were using it in a gaming context, in a gaming rig. But the studio drivers kind of give you this kind of stability, right? This kind of enterprise-grade stability and performance. It kind of squeezes out every drop of performance from their hardware in context of pro use cases, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And it allows the students to facilitate what they can imagine, right? No different to yourself in your pipelines. You want to build what you see in your head. We want to facilitate that for the students, and that's what this is all about. And those enterprise-level drivers allow us to do that. We also have machines that are fully capable of doing the gaming side of things. So again, students can get practical with every level of game, whether that be your GTAs, your Red Deads, and your Cyberpunks, right the way through to your Stardew Valleys and your Lego games. They can practice, they can see what has happened in other contexts and bring that into their work to develop their work even further.
Right.
Which is a really important part of what we do at the College of Esports, is develop their understanding of where they're going in the future. Because that's what we want to do as educators, right?
And that understanding isn't just on the game's design principles and the art pipeline, but it's also preparing you for the work environment, right?
Yes.
So the studios that you could then get hired in, they're using the same drivers and the same software that you've got here.
So exactly that. We have modules designed for students to actually work with each other to build projects together. Obviously, this is an example of one that's a little bit less complete than some of our other ones, where they have the entire year to make a project with multiple year groups at the university.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. It creates that kind of simulation of work environment, of building these things together. They're using the same tools that industry's using to learn how to do that and learn the soft skills and the transferable skills that we in the education world talk about all the time, and aren't necessarily valued until you're in those environments. And particularly because of the way the games industry is, those key skills are fundamental to what we do, because you can't make the world's best game by yourself, or very few people can.
It's a collaborative thing.
It's a collaborative thing, right? And it's a collaborative thing even if you are an individual, because you've got to work with publishers, you've got to work with developers, you've got to have business meetings, you've got to do all those things. So the students are getting hands-on with that whilst they're at university, from day one, week one, year one, right the way through to the time they graduate and leave.
Yeah, and what you've got here kind of at a snapshot represents the collaboration, you know, whether it's the 2D art phase of concept art through to creating the assets in 3D, to then bringing it into a essentially a prototype environment. These are the exact same steps you would do professionally in professional games development to test your ideas and then go back through the feedback loop. So that's really one-on-one with the professional workflows. And this collaboration means that regardless of your discipline, regardless of where you are in the pipeline, you need a stable base, right? A foundational sort of software base to keep everything running. And that really comes back to this idea of using standards, you know, standardized code base, which is what NVIDIA Studio is kind of giving you.
Yeah, exactly that. And it gives them that base to build from. It allows them to achieve what they want to achieve whilst they're at university with us. And it prepares them for the job market afterwards, which is obviously the most important thing, because there's no point coming to do a course or go, you know, study something if it's not going to lead you to what you want to do, right? And it's exactly that. And in the same way, we have students who start this and then suddenly go, well, I really connect with this. Actually, I'm going to look at the film industry, I'm going to look at the TV industry, I'm going to look at virtual production. It allows them to see that transferability into these other markets as well, which is equally as important as going for the students who know they want to go and do a games programmer or a vegetation artist or a rigger or whatever it might be. It allows them to all achieve what they want to do, and that's what we want to do. And NVIDIA and Scan allow us to do that with our other partners at Adobe and things like that as well.
So then, to simply put, if you're an esports player, do you go with the GeForce drivers, game ready? And if you're an esports maker or a games developer, do you go with the studio drivers? Is that basically it?
I think that's probably the simplest way of saying it. I think there is a discussion to be had about having access to both in some ways. Some of our esports players start off going, I'm going to be the next Faker, and then actually they realise they enjoy making the assets, or they enjoy working in the marketing or the event space related to it.
Makes sense if you're inspired by it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, they get to transfer between them, and by having access to both, goes back to that facilitation kind of role. That's what it gives them. But yeah, very much it boils down to, if you're going to be making it, go for the professional standard. If you're going to be playing it, use the consumer market kind of stuff.
Very good.
But yeah, they work really well.
Cool. Thanks so much for your time, Lewis.
No, lovely to meet you.